Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is Victor once again. I'm a PhD student at the University of Warwick in the UK. I'm also a teaching assistant at the university. So today we'll be talking about the Ibrahim PhD scholarship at the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies. So I have a screen here that I'll be sharing with you shortly. And this scholarship is actually centered on courses around development and governance, and these are the eligible courses: development studies, law, economics, international relations. We also have international studies and diplomacy. We have financial and management studies, and we have financial and management studies but distance learning. So if you have any research interest around this field, I think this PhDs for you, and an African applicant. This PhD is for African applicants. So let's move on to the deadline. So the deadline of this PhD application is 31st of March. So this is quite tricky. I think March is very far away. So let me tell you a very quick story. I got the same scholarship earlier this year. I had 3 different PhD scholarships. I shared that in the previous video. So this was one of the scholarships I got. But why applying? I applied by this time last year. Yes, I applied, and I didn't hear anything from the university until April. And remember, the deadline is 31st of March. And just like this year, the deadline was also 31st of March. But I didn't hear anything from the university until April. So at the middle of March, I was already panicking. I'd sent several emails already, tried to place phone calls and things like that. So instead of that, I called or I emailed the lady in charge of this particular scholarship, Miss Angelica. So she's the administrative person when it comes to this Ibrahim scholarship. So I got her email. Her email is also attached to this website, so you can always contact her in case you have issues. So I contacted her and made my consent clear that I intend to apply for this scholarship. I've actually submitted my application and every document, because I've not heard from the department. And the deadline of the scholarship is just by the corner. I'm a little bit worried. So she was kind enough to help me contact my department. And 2 days after, they finally released my application status. But that wasn't the end. They gave me a conditional offer, because there's what we call conditional and unconditional. Unconditional means you've fulfilled all admissions requirements and now you are in the course. Right? Conditional means, yeah, you're in, but you still have to submit some documents. And guess the documents they asked me to submit? An English test. I was mad. And this was why. As some of you know already, I already have a degree from a UK university. My first master's degree was at the London School of Economics, which is just 30 minutes walk from SOAS. And before I had to leave for Germany after I finished at the LSC. So it was just, I graduated from the LSC in 2018. And 2020 I was applying for a PhD and they wanted me to bring an English test certificate. I was like, how does that work? I've already graduated and passed. And from a UK university, a university just close to you, and you're still doubting my English skills. This is unthinkable. So I made this known to the admissions committee, and they said, yeah, they will look at it. I was a bit concerned because the Ibrahim Foundation needed an unconditional status to be considered for the scholarship in the first place. So I had to run back to this kind Miss Angelica and told her about my situation. That yes, the department finally answered me, but they gave me a conditional admission. So she promised to consider my application, my Ibrahim scholarship application, without concerning herself with that conditional admission status, that I can continue dealing with the university and clarifying that. But she will assume I've already done that I've already gotten in, and she'll consider my application. And that was a lot of a relief, I must confess. And a month later, she sent me the email that I've been chosen for the scholarship. So the lesson here is that do not waste time. Do not think that there's time, because you might need to go through these processes, this back and forth. And the deadline was actually prolonged or extended this year because of these issues I told you about. Universities were quite late in the admission schedule, and it was also the beginning of this corona pandemic, so there were lots of confusion here and there. So she extended by 2 extra weeks, and I was able to submit my application. So you do not want to be caught in this chaos. Start on time, so in case something happens, you're able to adjust and amend and plan so you can submit a timely application. I haven't said that. So there are 2 kinds of application, or 2 steps. You apply to the department and apply for the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. So let's start with the first one. How do you apply to the department? So first you have to find a PhD supervisor, someone that would supervise your PhD research. So go to the particular department you're applying for, go to the staff page and look at the staff profile and see the person or persons whose research interest and focus aligns with yours. So check carefully, check their research interest and focus, and then you can send them an email asking if they are free to supervise a student for the next academic session. So another good thing to do is that you should have, this is the second step, to have a research proposal in hand. So you're not just going there empty-handed. In case you need a template of how to contact a prospective supervisor, I've done the video in the past on how to send emails to professors, so I'll leave the link below. That just gives you an easy format of how to write the letter, so you don't have to sweat about it. So the second part, the research proposal. I think the research proposal will either make or break your application, especially if you're applying to a UK university or most European universities. They need you to have a research proposal in hand. Your proposal should contain your research question, your method, like a quick literature review and things like that. I've also done a video on how to write a research proposal, and actually gave a real life example of research proposal step by step. So I also put a link to the video in the description, so you have no excuse. Everything you have is there. And I also gave you tips on how to come up with a topic, how to find a research topic for a PhD proposal. What does it mean to bring a significant contribution, an original contribution to knowledge? I've dealt with that already in the past, so you might want to look at that. Because if you do not have a research proposal in the first place, I think your whole application will just fall down. So while emailing your professor, you could also summarize your research proposal in the body of the email to the professor. Then probably attach the copy in the email and probably your CV as well, so the professor gets a full account of who you are and your research interest or focus. Then submit your other documents like your personal statement, I think you need 2 reference letters, so your references as well, your transcripts, your certificates as well. Send them to the university, the application portal. And admission is free, there's no application fee, so you don't have to sweat about that. Talking about personal statements, I've also shared live my personal statements, the one that actually got me this Mo Ibrahim scholarship. That statement is online, so you just have to, you have no excuse. You can look at it as a guide and to craft your own personal statement. So that is, now we're done with the university. Find a supervisor. If he or she says yes, good for you. I think you should contact a number of them, not just 1, 2, 3, and then you could pick and choose. Because while you're applying, they also ask you during the application process, have you contacted the supervisor? What is her name? What is his name? You have to write a name down. So you need that yes from the supervisor, that yes, I would supervise you. Yes, I've seen your proposal and I think it's going to lead somewhere. So having done with the university, then you have to apply separately to the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, or for the Mo Ibrahim Scholarship. And there's also a link on the page where you can access the application form. So I'll quickly take you to that application form. And that the deadline of that is on the 31st of March. Now remember, you need to get an unconditional offer before you be considered for the scholarship. My case was just one of the few exceptions. I got a conditional offer, and I told you about the English language and test debacle, but they still considered my application, and I got it even with a conditional offer. And funny enough, that conditional offer was not upturned, was not changed to an unconditional offer until I think that was in September. By then I'd already declined the scholarship and I was already, I think, in Warwick. Then one day I just decided to check and see what's happening over there, and I saw they've upgraded it to an unconditional offer, but by then I was already done with it. I chose to come to Warwick already. So in case you want to know why I chose Warwick over SOAS, I've also released a video. You could also take a look at it. So let's go to the application form for the scholarship in particular. But what does the scholarship cover? I think it's also important to remind you what the scholarship covers. It actually covers everything. So you get £16,000 a year. That's about £1,300 in a month for living allowance. It covers your food tuition. It also refunds your travel cost. So whatever you incurred while traveling, your visa cost, your flight tickets. Probably you have to do this what they call the tuberculosis test and things like that. So it's also going to refund you. And the scholarship prioritizes candidates that are domiciled in Africa. That's those who are living in Africa. And funny enough, I got the scholarship while I was actually in Germany, so that's a funny one as well. So they prioritize those living in Africa, living in Africa, over those African students in other parts of the world. But funny enough, I was in Germany when I got it. And I must also tell you this. The lady particularly mentioned that my research proposal was the deal maker. Because when I told her to give me a number of weeks to make up my mind, that I had multiple offers, because she was telling me to state whether I'm accepting this offer or not. And I told her to give me some time. I want to do a number of consultations before I accept, because I have multiple offers. Then she sent me this email saying that she's not surprised that I got multiple offers because of the quality of my research proposal. So guys, the research proposal is just like one of the major documents, or the most important documents you need to get this scholarship. And there are just 2 available spots. It said 1 available scholarship on the website, but if you click on a particular application form, it says there are 2 spots. So I think you can fight for it and polish your research proposal. So let's go through what you need to submit for the scholarship in particular. Having applied already to the department, to the university, and SOAS. So just put your basic details there, like your name, email address, and things like that. Then you have to upload the unconditional offer you must have received from the university. In my case, I didn't receive an unconditional offer. I still uploaded my conditional offer at the end. Well, it was sufficient. Then a CV. Yeah, this is also a good one. I've also done a video on how to write an academic CV. I think you also want to take a look at it as well. So I think all the links will be below. I'll try to link all these videos below, so it could help you craft your own application, because honestly, there is no time. So after a CV, a personal statement. I just used the personal statement I sent to the department. I just sent the same personal statement to this the lady looking at the Ibrahim scholarship. So you could do the same, or probably you had an extra insight or something you were not able to mention in your personal statement to the university. You could also mention it here. So it might be slightly different, but I sent the same document because I believe mine was clear enough, and they want it to clearly highlight how what you intend to research is related to governance and development. So in case that wasn't made clear in the personal statement you sent to your department, make sure you make it clear in this one. Show a clear connection between whatever you intend to study in those eligible departments and governance development issues. Then the next document you have to send is your research proposal, the almighty research proposal. As I said, she said this was the deal maker for me. So if you want your application to be competitive, yes, your transcript is okay, yes, recommendation and everything, but if you do not have an interesting, engaging, original research, I'm afraid your application might fall apart. So take time to craft a befitting research proposal with all the components of the questions, the topic, the methodology. You've done your background reading, you know the major issues, and you're able to clearly write them down in concise, clear English. Then for this scholarship, you also need an additional recommendation letter. Remember, you have to submit 2 recommendation letters to the department or university while applying for the course. So for the scholarship, you need 1 recommendation letter. So you could always contact one of those persons that wrote for you while applying to the university. Just tell the person to write for this particular scholarship, and there's an email address there where the person should send it to directly. So you're not attaching this to your to your application, the person has to send it directly to Miss Angelica, and the email is right here, where you will send the reference letter. And yeah, I think we've gone through the major parts of this scholarship. So as I told you earlier, make sure you have all your documents ready, your transcript and everything together, and start working on, if you've not done that already, start working on your research proposal. Start working on the department members to contact. Start looking at a number of profiles and see which ones are available, which ones research interests align with yours. Start checking for who would write your recommendation letters. These are very important. And they also need copies of your degree certificates. I noticed that some universities just give transcripts, they don't give degree certificates. So try to get something like a letter. If you don't have a degree certificate from a university and you've done everything you can, you don't have it, apart from the transcript, they should have something like what they call a statement of results, or a letter acknowledging that you graduated from the university. Just apart from your transcript, they need that document as well. If you do not have it, your application cannot be processed in the department or university in the first place. So try to have all these documents in place. So in case you have any questions concerning this PhD opportunity, put it down below and I'll try to get to every one of you concerning your questions and observations about this PhD. But I've just done a quick rundown and shared my own experience about this scholarship. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, especially those coming from Africa. You know, it's quite expensive. The exchange rates already is crazy, and personally, I wouldn't have been able to afford studying in the UK or any other part of the world without a kind of financial assistance. And this is a beautiful opportunity. It covers everything you need. £16,000 a year, I think, is a lot of money already. Then your tuition, your travel costs. So I think it's a very generous scholarship to take advantage of. So gather your documents together, comment or write down any questions you have, and I'll try to get back to you. And that's it, guys. And until next time, I'll continue bringing your way scholarship opportunities and informative videos you might need in preparing your application, and I'll be there to accompany you depending on how free my schedule is, because I'm getting quite busy lately, because as I said earlier, I'm teaching and I'm also a PhD student, so I'm wearing two hats and I'm trying to juggle both responsibilities. And that's it, guys. Until next time, I wish you success. Bye bye.